Hey everyone, we're at the Inwin booth now at CES 2019, and this is one of the last booths of the show we'll be looking at. Inwin doesn't have any massive Signature Series products here this year, although they do have a pretty cool rotating fan display that we can show on the screen at some point. But they do have 3 cases, and 2 of them are a bit more affordable, and one might as well be a Signature Series product in terms of cost. Before that, this video is brought to you by the Deep-Cool Captain 240 Pro AIO cooler. The Captain 240 Pro uses a bladder within the water tank to expand and contract based upon liquid temperature as a leak prevention mechanism. This works by burping air at higher temperatures, making for a unique closed-loop liquid cooler design. The Captain 240 Pro also expands upon the existing Captain series by extending tube length for more flexible positioning and updating the LEDs. Learn more at the link in the description below. So the one next to me is the 905. Inwin tells us that this front panel and top panel design, it's one piece, is one of their more popular designs, and so Inwin wanted to update the chassis internals. So you get the 905. Previously there was a 904, but the tooling is completely new, so it's not just a refresh. The front panel has some minor changes to it, like this LED in the front, for example, but most of this design was about updating the internal tooling and chassis while keeping some of the look that has been on their more popular selling cases. For major updates here, there's now 360mm radiator support in the bottom, there's a 240 support in the front. It might become 280 in the future. This is not 100% finalized as a product yet, so that might change in the future, but for now it's a 240 at least. And then this is just kind of interesting. So for the dust filter, it's curved, and so you do get some option of a bit more intake room over here on this side of the power supply shroud, which is back-seated as normally, so that hasn't really changed too much from typical. It's just that L-shaped filter for something a bit different. Other than that, there's a push-button release for the glass panel because Inwin didn't want to mar the appearance of the glass panel by putting any screws on the outside of it. So they've got a push button release for that. Push the button, it comes off, pretty straightforward. And for the 905, looking at $280 for the price. Probably, could change, not 100% finalized. And they would like to include 3 fans. So also not finalized, but that is the hope by Inwin right now. Next one, the A1 Plus. So you may have seen our Inwin A1 review. If you haven't, the case hasn't really changed in significant ways, but it's been updated. So Inwin hopes to double the Qi charger to 10 watts now from 5 watts, which actually is a pretty significant move because when we reviewed the A1, we had trouble getting any kind of charge out of that Qi charger considering the depth that it was at versus where the phone would sit on the top of your case. So doubling of the Qi charger output, and then the chassis itself is the same, tooling is the same. The power supply is going from a 600 watt bronze to a 650 watt gold, so increasing the power supply capacity. It is still included. The case should be $200, and it'll also now include 2 120mm fans of the Serious Loop series, which is a new Inwin series that they had on that display I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So up from 0 fans, by the way, on the original A1. So that is the A1 Plus. The last case is the 928. The 928 is going to be a low volume part. It's a $900 case. So yeah, probably not buying it for most of you, but it's more or less custom fit for the massive 14x14 Asus motherboards that we've seen, and also Gigabyte will have one too for the 3175X Intel CPU. So that's been a bit of a concern for the Intel products coming out just because the boards are so large. The 928 though, 2 power supplies in the back, they both plug into the motherboard. You hit the switch on the front and then it'll power both of them because they're both plugged into the board, and pretty simple there, don't need a bridge for that. CNC pretty much everywhere. The screws for the side panels are CNC'd, the feet are CNC'd, and then the aluminum everywhere is 2mm internal and 4mm external aluminum. Supports 2 420 radiators in the top, and it's got a reservoir mount in the back of the case as well next to the power supplies, although the motherboard tray separates the 2 420s. Otherwise, if it existed, I guess you could try to do an 840, but I'm not aware of one. So that covers Inwin's booth for CES 2019. Thank you for watching. As always, you can subscribe for more. Go to patreon.com/gamersnexus to help us out directly. I'll see you all next time.